What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into my smash starts at at wide receiver. This is going to be 5 wide receivers. There was 6, but Marvin Harrison Jr. got ruled out, and he could miss a couple weeks here. It looks like out of nowhere. So he's off the list now. He was going to be on there. Michael Wilson may make the sleeper list, but we'll get to that tomorrow in the episode, if I get to it tomorrow. So before we dive into it, guys, as always, make sure you tap that like and subscribe. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live tomorrow for the first Start Sit show. Then we're live Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And Monday we recap everything. And in this video for these players, these aren't like top echelon. Well, I guess, George Pickens is going to be on here, but he's like wide receiver 6. But I don't really put him as like a top 10 wide receiver when CD's out there. So these are going to be, wide receiver, low-end wide receiver ones that I think are going to smash for a 12-point floor with 20-plus point upside this week. That should be in every single one of your lineups based on the statistics, defensive analysis I'm going to give you. And I always like to show my transparency from last week, guys. So this is one of my worst weeks, too. So I got to be honest with you. So I show, what I'm looking for at the top, at the floor, at the points. I hit Dart, Caleb Williams, Stafford. All those were good. Judkins, Walker missed on. Swift hit, Dowdle hit, Dobbins missed. Lad McConkey, Odunze, and Adams hit. Ted McMillan, Sutton missed. And tight end, I always struggle with tight end, man, to try and get the 10-point floor and the 15-point upside is always tough with that position. Hit Goddard, and then, of course, Kincaid and Gadsden was getting volume galore, and then he gets hurt. But at least Gadsden is practicing today is the update that just dropped right now. So if you have a Rondé Gadsden, little update for you in the video. He will be playing this week. And same with Ricky Persall, just dropped right now as well, too. So I was 64%, I was 70% the week before, and I think like 75% the week before that. We're looking for a 100% week, and this is going to be the one, guys. So make sure you check out my quarterback, tight end, and running back videos that are out as well before this. And as always, guys, if you haven't checked out the sponsors, drafters.com, make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. If you haven't checked out the Guys FF Discord, both those are pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. Now let's dive into my smash start top 5, not 6, because one got ruled out, wide receivers here. Starting off with smash wide receiver number 1, it is going to be Jalen Waddle. He is going to absolutely go nuclear this week. And since Tyreek Hill has been down, he's been going nuclear either way. But he has had a couple spot start bad games here and there. That's a given in fantasy football. Now, why is this going to be so advantageous this week? You're going to get the Washington Commanders. You're at home. The over-under is 47.5. But guys, listen to this. The 3 starting cornerbacks for the Washington Commanders: Trey Amos on IR, Marshawn Lattimore on IR, Jonathan Jones questionable with a hamstring and unlikely to play. They are going to be rolling out 3 backup corners, probably off the practice squad for some of these guys to go out there and cover the electric Jalen Waddle. No way in hell you're not starting this guy no matter what. So let's look at his stats. 66 targets, 44 receptions on the season, 670 yards, 5 touchdowns, 22.5 target share. But again, he had Tyreek at the beginning of the season, so those numbers have gone way up. Snap share, 80.8. That's gone up as well. Route participation, 77.7. That's gone up too. He's number 9 in red zone targets at 5'10", 185, which is very nice to see because they really have no one else with Darren Waller down. Deep target 7, number 44. You'd like to see that go up. And he's wide receiver 11 with 143.3. Now, imagine this, right? And I just gave you that their 3 corners are out for this game. Now, let's just throw this out there. This is the Washington Commanders on the season versus the wide receiver. They rank 30th, third worst in the NFL, 38.9 points, 1,779 yards, and 13 touchdowns allowed. The 1,779 yards is the worst in the NFL, and the 13 touchdowns is second worst behind the Dallas Cowboys. Now, factor in that all 3 of their corners are down. Trey Amos got hurt last week. That was their star corner. Who's going to guard Jalen Waddle? Smash him into every single lineup you have. Smash start wide receiver number 2 is going to be George Pickens on Monday Night Football versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And before we dive into it, guys, you got to look at this as just bonkers to me. And I did not see this coming for George Pickens. And obviously he's wide receiver 5 on the year. When CeeDee Lamb was out, he had his 2 30-point games, right? So I really don't put him into the elite category, but he is, if you look at it on the season total points because he smashed in those 2 games. But besides that, he's never got over 20 points with CeeDee Lamb out there. So when you're looking at this smash call, be like, oh, yeah, it's George Pickens, that's a given. It's not really because he hasn't done it without him. So But here's the crazy thing. He has had over 10 points in full PPR every single game this year except for week 1. That is crazy to me, right? So now we're looking at this game. You're coming off a bye. You get the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be more improved with Quinnen Williams. They added Logan on the D-line. They're going to get Overshown back. I don't remember the corner's name. I've been trying to think of it for like the past 3 episodes here. They get I think their nickel cornerback off IR as well. And when you're looking at the Raiders side of injuries, their safety, Tristan McCullum went down with a concussion last week. Don't know if he's going to be out there in this game. Could pop the top off a little bit more for George Pickens with CeeDee Lamb drawing the doubles. And you always got Jake Ferguson out there as well. But let's just look at the stats here. 72 targets, 49 receptions, 764 yards. That should say 764, not 464. I made a typo there. 6 TDs, 21.8% target share. Not bad for your wide receiver 2. Snap share 86.7. That's high wide receiver 2 usage. Route participation 94.1. That is elite wide receiver 1 usage. 11 red zone targets with his 6'3 frame. That's number 4 in the NFL, and 14 deep targets, number 6. And again, he's wide receiver 5 on the season. Now, you're going to get the Las Vegas Raiders. And remember, their safety may not be in this game as well. We're running a backup out there in that situation. The Las Vegas Raiders, they rank 27th, 5th worst versus the wide receiver. 37.06 points allowed, 1,428 yards, which is bottom 10, and then 10 touchdowns they've allowed as well. Now, I know that it's got to be like, I don't know. The only scary thing with Pickens is are the Raiders going to stay in this game, right? Because if the Raiders don't, you're not going to need much George Pickens, much CeeDee Lamb, unless they score early and pop off, which that's what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting, and I'm calling out a first quarter touchdown on a bomb vertical stretch double move to George Pickens to the house, because CeeDee Lamb is going to draw all the coverage, and they're going to attack the weak safety, and it's going to be Pickens that just pops one, smash him, get him into your lineup. Smash start number 3 is going to be T. Higgins. And you know, if I have Joe Flacco on there and we're targeting this game like we did in week 7 with the old man 40-year-old battle to smash, the T. Higgins is going to make it as well. And of course, you know, Jamar Chase is your always start wide receiver. So we're looking at the Bengals game here. And this is one of those games, like I was saying in the previous episodes, this is like a must win for the Bengals. Like 3-6, they've blown 2 of their last 2 games in massively Bengals fashion. And you've got Joe Burrow now practicing targeting week 13. But if they lose the next 2 games and go 3-8, are we even going to see Joe Burrow? Do they take the opportunity to try and win the last 5 and ruin his next season possibly with how bad their offensive line is? So there's a lot of questions that I have. And the Bengals have to win this game. And the over-under is 48.5. It's one of the highest games of the week here. Now, when you're looking at T. Higgins here, he's been absolutely up and down with Joe Flacco, right? 10 points, 20 points, 12 points, 30 points. It's kind of like I can't remember the wide receiver I did in the earlier video that I was talking about that does this all the time. And it was a slow start for him. He didn't really get off to anything going good, and now they're catching a little rhythm here, and you're probably going to have Joe Flacco for 2 more games here. And you get the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know Darius Slay is banged up coming into this game. Probably going to be out there, don't know, but he's been playing hurt for the past couple of weeks. They're also going to have Corey Trice. That's their nickel corner who went to IR on November 1st. He's still not out there. So there's a lot of problems and holes in the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. And this is how you're going to know right here. They rank 32nd, dead last in the NFL, giving up 40.6 points, 1,747 yards, second worst behind the Washington Commanders. 8 touchdowns. They do well in the red zone there. But when you have T. Higgins in his size, his 6'4 frame and 220 pounds, he's going to get a touchdown in this game. And I think this game is going to be another shootout of 60-plus points, just like last time. Actually, I'm not going to go 60. I'm going to go 55-plus in this game. And T. Higgins has to be in your lineup. Smash start number 4 is going to be Zay, just Mr. 10-point consistent flowers. But this is the game he is going to pop 20. So they're going to be taking on the Cleveland Browns. Yes, the Lamar Jackson panic is on a Wednesday because he didn't practice. I got to say this all the time. Do not panic and don't fret and start until Friday. Friday is always your big update, guys. And I'm sure Lamar Jackson is going to be out here at the Ravens 4-5 on their win streak, trying to battle their way back into the playoffs here. And you're going to get the Cleveland Browns. And the over-under is 39.5 in this game, which is very low because the Cleveland Browns defense is very good, and the Cleveland Browns defense plays even better at home. So when you look at this, that's shout out to Big Draft Energy on that one. When you look at this, the Ravens are favored by 7.5 here, right? But what do the Ravens do the best? They stop the run. I mean, look at Breece Hall last week until he popped that little reception out the side for like 45 yards. It was going to be an absolute dud game, and that was a busted play. He shouldn't even have got that to happen with, because they are good versus the running back in the receiving game as well, besides that busted play. So now, where did the Cleveland Browns struggle the most at in the NFL on defense is versus the wide receiver, and it's still not even that bad. They're number 11. They give up 30.1, which is 11-18. And they're giving up 10 touchdowns, though. That's the number we're looking for here. So I'm expecting Zay Flowers to be gadgeted up, find the end zone in this game. And I want to point out just a couple of these things here that like go unnoticed. Like people do not respect Zay Flowers' game here. Target share is 28.6%. That's number 9 in the NFL. That is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. And then you go to snap share, 88.2, right around wide receiver 1 usage. 96.1% route. He never comes off the field. And the guy's 5'9", 180, dripping wet. Red zone targets 4. He's not a big body, like I said, 5'9". That's more Mark Andrews' zone. And the deep targets, though. So when you're looking at these stats, you got to remember there was Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley in here as well. So, and he's still been a kind of a floor play of 10 points. He never had 20 points plus besides week 1 against Buffalo, and that was Lamar Jackson. This is like the buy low. I love Zay Flowers from here on out. Like, tweet during the smash start tweet, because I do think Zay Flowers is going to pop a very, very big touchdown long bomb in this game. And I'm trying to buy him everywhere. So this is kind of a smash start and a buy low. Go get Zay Flowers, and I'll even give you more on that. They're going to get the Jets. They're going to get Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cincy. Those are the bottom 2 teams versus the pass in a row. It's going to be Zay Flowers' time from here on out. He's going to smash this week, and go get him right now. Last but not least, number 5 is going to be DK Metcalf. And if I have Aaron Rodgers out here, you got to put his number 1 wide receiver. And Aaron Rodgers on my smash start quarterback video. And we have to look back at this differently as well. He did play Cincinnati in week 7, and he only had 8 points. He had a very tough outing in that game. But it's going to be a different story this time around, because we're going to be looking at a pressure rate that is probably going to be the Bengals' worst all season. So you got right now, Trey Hendrickson is doubtful, not looking to play in this game. And Shamar Stewart, their first-round rookie that's been absolutely solid on their defensive line, is considered week to week, and he's going to be out as well. Aaron Rodgers is going to have all damn day here to throw. DK Metcalf is going to absolutely feast. But first, we got to look at the Cincinnati Bengals, and we know the Bengals defense is so bad versus the run that it makes them versus the wide receiver look good, but they're actually not. So they rank 16th versus the wide receiver, get up 31.6, 1265 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Now, when you look at DK Metcalf's numbers, you'd expect them to be better DK Metcalf numbers than this, especially with Aaron Rodgers and the way he usually peppers his number 1. So 54 targets, 32 receptions, 502 yards, 5 touchdowns. That target share is crazy to me. 20.8%. That should be DK Metcalf 25 plus for him usually. Snap share 90.4. Route participation 90.4. All elite 1. Red zone targets 8. That's number 18. And deep targets 8. And he's wide receiver 28. Not the value you paid for him ROI wise. So this, and I expect this game, and I've said this like throughout, and I'm targeting this game heavily in fantasy and DFS and everything. I expect this to be another shootout, just like I called in week 7. And everyone gave me shit for Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, and they both put up 30 points. I expect the same type of game here. Both these defenses are beat up. I know the Steelers have been playing better, but I'm just DK Metcalf. I cannot sit this week. I think he finds the end zone, and I think he absolutely smashes this week. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 5 wide receiver smashes. Tomorrow we'll dive into all my start sits, possibly my top 10 sleeper plays of the week, but that's going to change because of these updates and injuries that have happened. So I am going to try and get that out, but I will get to that maybe Friday after the Thursday night game here. And I have the family coming in town this week too, so it's going to be, harder to get content in once we roll in here. If you guys haven't already on your way out, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. 6,000 subs, guys. That was the goal on the year. We passed that yesterday. Absolutely amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. The best freaking community on the earth. You guys show me so much support. It's absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't checked out the guys FF or drafters.com and use promo code SLEEVES, both these links are pinned in the top of the comment and in the description of the video. And that's it from me. I got a pickleball match to get to tonight. Your boy is hooked, and we won the California 8K pickleball tournament. I just want to throw it out there. This shit was so much fun last weekend, man. It was awesome. That's it for me in this episode, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Sleaze Bomb out.